think our intro for that should be an Optimus walking out there and like kicking the sign over or something.
In a clumsy sort of weird robotic fashion.
Google had a huge mic drop. Google had a huge mic drop event. They basically came out. They were kind of like laying in the weeds. Everybody's like, "What's with Google? What's with Google?" And I guess they came out and they're just like, "We're here." And it's yeah.
It was very impressive, wasn't it? I mean, I don't know if we've got the video, but it's a bit cringe. The guy fixing his bike. I mean, it's classic Silicon Valley cringe, but the stuff that he's doing there is pretty amazing, isn't it? Where he gets it to call the bike store and all that kind of thing. That's like quite exciting.
Yeah. And then this next slide here too. So they've got a bunch of modules that they've released, right? So definitely mic drop moment for Google, because I don't use Google much for searches, and you don't as well. But Google says that, hey, they put their hand up and says we're still relevant. Plus, they got $2 coffee at their visitor center in Mountain View and $9 Caesar salad. So,
well, they also released that AI generated video, which has audio as well. That is quite remarkable, isn't it? How smooth that runs. So, I mean.
Big day for Google.
I mean, that has implications for so many aspects of life and commerce, doesn't it?
If you end up in that Silicon Valley area, Mountain View is where Google's headquarters are. And they're spread out all over. They're all over tons and tons of buildings, but it's well worth going there. So if you go between Costco and Google for cheap eats while you're down there in that area in California and cheap hotels, the hotel prices were actually pretty reasonable. They're taking 25% off. Not so bad. The flight was a whole 2 hours from Calgary.
Should have self-driven.
I have driven there before, and it's a lot longer than 2 hours. I think it's about 22 hours or 18. I can't remember exactly, but we had some way back in the day. We had some server issues here with our company, and I had to drive back from San Fran as fast as I could, and I'm pretty sure. It's like a 20-hour drive or something like that, and I made it in one shot.
Wow! Oh, Christ, that's tough.
Yeah, I was actually Anyway,
at least it's beautiful though. I mean, going up Highway 1 or whatever, that's a nice place to be, isn't it? I once drove across Texas, east to west, in about 15 hours or something, and I don't know if anyone's ever done that, but there's not a lot to look at. Just loads of wind turbines and like, ranches, like desert-y looking ranches. I'd much rather have been in California.
So I drove from Houston all the way to Kelowna a long time ago. And yeah, you're right. Like Texas is big, like it's massive, and there's a lot of nothing to see.
Yeah, a lot of just like barbed wire. And
you think
those, what are they, springboks or something? Those like deer, you can see them, but that's about it really.
You think driving through the prairies is, at least you see farmland. It's a lot of just sand and stuff. Yeah, a lot of nothing. Anyway.
No, it's tough. It's tough.
We got a clip here. If you want some cheap flights, check this out. They got new standing airplane seats. That's like treating you like cattle. Here you go. I'm going to play this clip here.
Enough space for a premium that at that point can be added. And on the rear, you can have these seats, Skyrider 2.0, allowing you to have, of course, instead of a full eco low-cost carrier, a 3 classes low-cost carrier.
And what has the interest from the airline companies been for Skyrider V 2.0?
The next step will be to have a full aircraft equipped with the seats. So at that point, you are able to increase a lot the number of passengers, and this means much more revenues for the airlines. So it's
There you go. You can go from boarding time of like 20 minutes to like 2.5 hours because you're going to put like 3 times more.
That guy is almost as interesting to listen to as Mark Carney, isn't he? He's got a very good voice.
I was gonna give him he's Klaus Schwab, like he's just like more revenue for the airlines and less for you. Standing room only. Maybe they give you a bag so you can't even use the washroom. And like, wow. I just think, you know how long it takes to board an airplane now? Like, it's just how long it'll take then. You can't take a bag on an airplane now if you don't want to pay. You know, those people, when they first started charging for the understow baggage, and they started carrying like 3 carry-ons and take them forever to walk down the aisles. Now that's kind of like been stopped because people now have to pay for that as well. And
got paid
now,
to sit next to your child as well now, haven't you?
now it's just standing. Basically, there's the leaning post, right? It's almost like rail system. Just cram them in there. There you go.
It really breaks your heart when you look at those old photographs from like the 60s or whatever, where they're
Where
sitting
people are
on
smoking
a
on the plane.
Yeah, like a plane or a train, and it's just like the dignity on offer. It's just kind of, it's like, I mean, even first class nowadays comes nowhere near the amount of space and dignity they had in the 60s, just in normal class.
Yeah, there you go. Unless you're on a United Arab Emirates flight in first class where you got your own room, basically a bedroom.
Yeah, I mean, there's like super duper ultimate class, isn't there, where you get like a bed. But a lot of the first class ones nowadays, they're those weird little like booths, aren't they? And they like move in, and you have this little sort of, it's kind of like a really crap office where you have your little office space, but they don't look all that good to me, to be honest. I would rather be on a plane in the 60s.
Yeah, with all that smoke.
Exactly. Just get my nicotine in.
Yeah, now they're even getting cheaper on what they hand out for free and stuff like that too, right? I can remember
a couple of nuts. Well, you don't get nuts anymore, do you? Because of what might be one person with a nut allergy, so nobody can have nuts. You get a pretzel, don't you?
I have a WestJet rewards card, and we ended up flying to Hawaii. This is a number of years ago, in using your companion flight and sitting in it's not first class, premium class. So you get there's only 6 seats in the premium class. And they just have a curtain there that kind of holds you back. And then, it's a longer flight, 5 or 6 hours. And then the people in whatever the other class, the normal class, were trying to use the washroom up front because there's only one washroom in the back, and there's, or maybe there's 2 in the back, I don't know. But they wanted to use the one in the front. They got into a big argument over it, and they finally let the children start to use the washroom up front.
Should have demanded a refund.
Anyway, we got a picture of a video of Optimus here cleaning your house. There you go.
Not too smooth.
Optimus is now learning tasks by watching videos, though. Pretty impressive. And by texting.
Yeah.
So.
You're being called out there, Jim. Never flown coach in your life? You aristocrat.
I have flown coach most of my life, and I just said that I used the companion flight to go to Hawaii. And again, WestJet, the premium seats are, obviously a little better than the economy class or whatever they want to call it. But I flew lots for them when I worked at the mine site, and I think I was in the air once a week, and I flew and sometimes it took 3 flights to get to the mine site, from Kelowna to Calgary, Calgary to Winnipeg, Winnipeg to Thompson, and all of those were it's like the lottery. You're in the back there, in the back of the plane, and then you're watching as people, because you're flying single because you're going to work, and you're just watching people walk by, and you're just like, no, please, no. And then I can remember sometimes I go direct to Toronto, and you end up sitting in the 3 seats. And I remember once a couple of farmers got on the plane, a couple, and they broke out the liverwurst sandwiches. Like, the smell from those sandwiches just about made me want to retch into the vomit bag. It was so bad. And they offered me a sandwich, though. They've offered me a sandwich, and then it's just so many flights. It actually was killing my calves. I just couldn't even take it anymore. Like, just too much time in the air. So there you go. I have flown many. And Comair flights are just those little twin prop jobbies. Like, if you want to fly bush pilot stuff like that, that's like taking, you got to have some courage for that kind of stuff. Anyway, and also Figure just completed a 20-hour shift, back-to-back shifts at BMW's X3 line. So they got actually Figure's bringing a little clip here from Figure, which is a competitor to Optimus. There you go. That's good. So there you go. So Figure working in the factory. So they've got lots of Optimuses in the factory floor there too, with Tesla too, or they're working on them. So, and then not to be
outdone. If that's the future of manufacturing, then maybe Canada really can have a manufacturing sector. Because the biggest obstacle is high pay now, isn't it? But if you can get all these robots, just pay them with electricity.
Well, I mean, we've also, the Canadian government has disenfranchised Elon Musk, so
he won't sell them.
We might be last on the list of things to get. Elon Musk, with his new name there, Kikius Maximus, says this is a major upgrade to Grok coming as well. So this thing's starting to heat up. Lots of really big stuff. I've been using the video component with ChatGPT when you're doing things like analyzing golf swings, and even when I'm working out, it analyzes some of your positioning first for like when you're doing a squat and all kinds of stuff. It's just absolutely wild.
I mean, it's going crazy, isn't it? But I feel like Grok, I don't know, there's a lot of big announcements coming lately. I mean, we're going to talk about the OpenAI thing with Johnny Ive in a second. There's that. And then there's Google that look like they're for real now. Look like they've finally pulled something out of the bag. I think Grok, you know, they haven't had a big moment in a while. And then Apple, obviously, God, they're in last place, aren't they? But the competition is red hot now, for sure.
I think in last place would be the two of them neck and neck, Amazon's Alexa and Google's Siri. Like, I mean, I think that they're definitely... They're the two of them wearing the dunce cap, and I have no idea what they're both trying to do there.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon what did they spend, $1 billion or something on that Lord of the Rings TV show, which was absolute garbage that everybody despises. Like, instead of that, maybe you should have made Alexa like slightly less brain dead. I mean, it's so painful, isn't it? Trying to get it to play a song. I mean, it's just a nightmare.
Johnny Ives. Made famous with the iPhone stuff. Johnny Ives makes a big deal, $6.5 billion deal. Johnny Ives joins the billionaires. Hey?
Well, they've released a video on social media. Well, I saw it on X. And it's Sam Altman and Johnny Ive sat down in a bar in San Francisco chatting about everything. And it's as usual, like I say, with Silicon Valley, it's extremely cringe-inducing. But it's quite interesting what they talk about, because they're talking about how the basic premise is that it just takes too long to like interface with a laptop or interface with an iPhone or whatever it is to try and activate AI. And they're saying that they've invented this product, which is a secret that they're not going to tell us about, that makes it so that it's a lot more, it's a lot more rapid to interface with AI. Which is very, very interesting. And, you know, like a lot of people in Silicon Valley, they seem to think that the world is like on the cusp of an enormous change, and it's going to happen very soon.
So if you watch there's a couple of Steve Jobs movies out there, and Johnny Ives plays his character or whatever, plays a pretty big role in Steve Jobs' comeback. And he's an English dude as well. There you go.
He's an English dude, and he went to a very unfashionable university in England, in the north of England. And I always find that very funny, that, you know, his credentials, because we're in a country that absolutely worships credentials. His credentials are not very good at all, really. Not very impressive at all. And yet he's one of the more consequential figures in the world of technology over the last sort of 30 years at least.
And if you watch
of amusing, isn't it? When you look at like Champagne, our boy Champagne or Melanie Jolie, just look at those credentials, Jim. Oh, amazing credentials. And yet they've achieved nothing, not a thing. Whereas Johnny Ive, not so great credentials, has achieved more than Melanie Jolie could achieve in 1,000 lifetimes.
It was the moment. Like if you watch that movie when Steve Jobs made his return, like after being disgraced and fired from his own company. I don't know if you remember that. He was actually fired, and the fired by the guy that was the CEO of selling sugar water people. He hired that guy.
Off to Nike, didn't he? Nike.
No, it was a Coca-Cola guy.
No, but didn't Jobs go off to Nike?
What's that? Yeah. No, but the guy that they hired that actually fired Jobs was the guy that was running Coca-Cola, selling sugar water. And then Steve Jobs got his revenge when they needed him back after they turned that thing into a bunch of sugar water. And then that chance meeting there, or not chance meeting, but when he met Johnny Ive there in the movie, says he says, I'll give you the ability to design what you want to design. And there you go. Johnny delivered, and not just an employee. Obviously, he's ringing the cash register right now as well.
Indeed.
So England not only producing great songwriters and singers and musicians, I should say, artists like the Beatles, Johnny Ive, the iPhone. The iPhone is one of the most influential devices in our century, for sure. Do you know what I mean? The iPhone changed everything. And I'll try to do this real quick. The iPhone, when the newspapers are the printing press, and then radio, and then television, and the internet and all those things, all kind of like coexist. But the iPhone kind of came along and it kind of kills a whole bunch of industries at once. Even the news industry completely disrupted, right? Because why do you need a newspaper? You have a newspaper in your hand. Look at everything the iPhone does. And I don't know if you remember that moment when Steve Jobs walked on stage and said, I've got 3 devices to show you, a phone, an internet browser, and a music player. And he said, actually, I only have 1. Everything was in the palm of your hand. And I can't remember what it was, like thousands of songs. It actually has a phone, it's a compass, it's a light. You have an alarm. Most people don't have an alarm clock anymore. Most people don't even wear a wristwatch. The phone is everything to everybody, right? You could probably rob somebody and they'd probably give you their clothing before they give you their phone.
Yeah, well, it's everything, isn't it?
It's
Steve
everything.
Jobs as well. He's another person that didn't have very impressive credentials at all, and yet, like you say, vastly influential person. It is interesting, isn't it? And that's something that they do in America. I would argue a lot better than we do here in Canada. They take these people that are obviously of great value and they convert them into very powerful and influential figures, whereas in Canada that doesn't seem to happen quite as often.
Ian Leslie there saying that we've been watching the CRTC committee hearings because the government has choked us with Bill C-18 taking away our audience of Facebook and Instagram. And we are worried about Bill C-63 and what it'll do. So if that's what Canadians are happy with, where the government has one media outlet left that is beholding and compromised to the Liberal government, then don't raise your voice. Just let it happen. There you go. Honda is reducing its EV investment. We know that. We talked about that already. It's basically scaling back and focusing on hybrids. Imagine that, eh? And then we're